Chicken sandwich, baby, you're my Cincinnati. You're everything I need to get up and make myself dance. You're my morning glory, I love you every morning. You're my leather jacket, you always got my back. Yeah, you're my broken headphones, you know I'll always smash it because you're everything. To get up and dance. Everything new I learned through you. Everything I see reminds me of girl, you're my roller coaster. Girl, you're my chicken sandwich. Baby, you're my Cincinnati. You're everything I need to get up and dance. Cincinnati, for everything I need. Come cheer up my nights, come cheer up my nights. 'Tis
All right, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Happy Saturday. Welcome to the Love Boat. You got myself as the captain, first mate over here. We got James Domenico grabbing all the way from South London. South London James is what we call him. He's thinking about taking the jacket off. Sun's out, guns out. James, how you doing, buddy? Great to see you, man. What's going on?
My favourite day, my favourite stream. Very happy to play third fiddle. And like I said, I'm going to be practicing the hex method today. I'm going to be doing 2 hours and say 2 words and let everyone else.
Yeah,
do the heavy lifting.
Yeah, 100%. And then, of course, all the way from the Colorado forest, we got the one and the only. She raises the bar around here, gives us a little bit of class, lights us up with a megawatt smile. It's the one and only Forest Mommy. Forest Mommy, welcome. Great to see you. Happy Saturday. How's it going? Is it hot where you're at? What's going on?
Yeah, today it is. We had kind of a lot of rain the last couple of days, which is always good here. But yeah, today I went out there and it was like a desert wind where it's just like dry, It's like, ugh. But yeah, it's pretty warm. And thanks for having me.
What are you talking about? You're part of the show. I'm not having you. You're part of the show.
I'm sorry. I'm just like so humble, So like,
yeah, you're the director of class over here. You make it count. I'm steering the ship. James is over there. He's the bouncer.
I'm just like a spare part, saying something stupid.
Yeah, he's throwing people out. We got James over there throwing out. We got D-Wag in the chat. Shout out to D-Wag. He says FOMO is better than Ray, which is better than James. Oh,
that's true. That is how it works. That is like if you were gonna do like a chart or something, I would be down the bottom.
Yeah. There's no bottom. This is one of those Knights of the Round Table kind of situation.
D-Wag wants to keep me that. See, D-Wag doesn't turn up to work because he knows that he could help elevate me. So he's like, I'm not going to turn up to work and help James because I want James to stay on the bottom rung. I don't want to lift him up with my my presence and my gravitas. So he just leaves me with my dick hanging out looking stupid.
Well, we got a story about that. We got a story about somebody with their dick hanging out later. We'll talk about that. I got all kinds of stuff. Got my notes right here, people. We're ready to go. We got a supercharged afternoon for you. Hope you guys are excited about it. Let me jump in the chat and say what's up to everybody, because, of course, that's what I got to do. I got to say hey to the homies. We got Seashell SoCal. What's up going on today? Hope you're doing good, Pat, where you're at. Hope you're getting some of that carbonated water, a little bit of soda, maybe a little bit of tequila. Let's go. We got Oso Miami. Good to see you, Oso Miami. Hope you're having a good day. She says, cello, everybody. How you doing? Hillbilly Harry, shout out to you, Hillbilly Harry. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're having a good day today. It's a little bit cooler right now, which makes me happy. We got Hobo Chili Recipe. He says, have a good show today. 07 to you, bro. Thank you. Appreciate that. We'll take it. Who else we got out there? We got Miami John. He's all the way down in Miami. He's doing his thing, sweating his balls off, making things happen down there with all the strippers. Kelly Cat's in the chat. Shout out to Kelly Cat. Hoping you have a good one. That's my Kentucky cousin over there, Kelly Cat, all the way over in Kentucky. Shout out to you. Hope you're having a good bluegrass day, 100%. Who else we got out there? DJ John, gotcha. Kelly Cat, gotcha. King Yeti, shout out to you, bro. Hope you're having a good one. He says, howdy, heathens. Howdy to you, bro. Who else we got? I saw somebody else say, sup, everybody, but this thing keeps switching on me. Let me check. This Hillbilly Harry. Okay, gotcha.
Do you think Miami John is hanging out with Oso Miami?
I don't know. I wonder that all the time. I'm sure Miami has a pretty big place. It has more than 2 people in it, James. But
do you think? I don't know. It's a small world, This online community is a small world. I think I can imagine John slipping into the DMs, giving it a bit of chat, learning off of someone like me, and then What he's always. Have you noticed he's always in his car driving? Where is he driving to and from? I think he's driving to Oso Miami's house, and and dropping some loads.
Well, I mean, I think it all started when she needed somebody to help her move, and he moved right in there, and then helped her with her load. Helped deliver.
Do you remember he started missing streams with a bad back?
Yeah.
And then he was doing a lot of heavy lifting.
I think that's what it was right there. We got Miami Johnny says, when are we going to get James mugs and FOMO mugs? Well, we're going to get them soon. Kelly Cat says, John, what about a Miami John mug? Yeah, we got to do that too, bro. We got to do that. I'm in the process of getting these pages done on that comic book. After that, I'm going to get back to my clipping and my, all having fun, making fun graphics, making fun merchandise. I want to completely redo my website so that I can have point of sale on the website, sell some prints, sell some other fun stuff, and make some fun stuff for people to have a good time doing. We got CK out there. He says he's incognito. CK is always out there. He's taking pictures. He's having a good time. He's been taking a lot of good pictures lately. So I've been reposting them, loving watching them, CK. Keep the brilliant photography coming.
I love the way how we cover on stream. We always cover it for this pervert who's hiding in the bushes, taking pictures of all kinds of things. So we're like, we're covering for this old pervert. What are we doing? You know, we should be shaming him. We should be naming him and shaming him.
No, okay.
Come on.
All right, that brings up a good point. We got all kinds of things to talk about today. But before we jump in, I was watching this stream the other night. And it had Sneeko. I know he's your favorite, James. Sneeko was on there, and he was having a debate.
Doesn't like dogs.
Yeah, he doesn't like dogs. He like dogs. And he was managing a debate or whatever they call that between two people. I think one of them was Richard Spencer, and the other one was a Muslim guy or something like that. And the Muslim guy wanted all the women to be completely covered. Okay, completely covered up from head to toe. You're looking out of the mailbox. You know, the mailbox slits right there. And then Richard Spencer said no, he didn't want it that way. And then I was watching another guy cover the thing, and I forget who it was, but he said, in Europe, there's a whole bunch of topless, beaches and stuff like that, topless pool. It's just normal over there. It's no big deal, and they have never had a problem until the migrants moved in. What are your thoughts about that, James? Should we cover women up so that they don't make men lust and then rage with indecent thoughts, or should men kind of control themselves? What are your thoughts?
Well, you're bringing people from an archaic culture over to Western culture, and we are more civilized and cultured people. We can have topless beaches, and we don't automatically run over there and start trying to twist women's nipples off, because we don't have low impulse control. Yeah. We might saunter over there, start a conversation, give it a bit of chat, give it a bit of bants if we like each other, if we fancy each other. But we know hands off until it's not time for hands off.
Yeah.
But you can't teach these people that come over here. They come from this barbaric culture where they don't practice what they preach. They're like, we want every woman to be covered up. But on the flip side, if we see a woman who's got a bikini on, we immediately go over there, we accost her, we harass her, we sexually abuse her, we sexually assault her. That's the kind of dichotomy you've got with these people. They couldn't lie straight in bed. They're a conundrum wrapped in a riddle, in an enigma. They don't practice what they preach, and it's like, we shouldn't have to change because we're adapting to their culture. Right. They should adapt to our culture. I don't want any of them over here, but if they are going to live over here, they should adapt to our culture. We shouldn't have to change. And the idea that you would have someone like Forest Mummy, in purdah, head to toe, and the only thing that you can see is their eyes. Also, that is kind of like a thing that they could use, couldn't they? I've seen things where men use it. You know what I mean? They go out there to commit crimes, to commit attacks. If you go to get your driving license or your passport, right? My mum wears glasses 24/7, right? And she went to get her driving license updated, and they said, hey, you've got to take your glasses off. Even though she wears them 24/7. But if a Muslim goes there, they don't have to take any of their garb off. Yeah. You don't know who's getting the fucking driving license, do you?
Yeah, I could.
Or when you go through fucking... Yeah, you're fucking going through... you're in an airport.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are you going to do? Well, so I think it's a load of bollocks, man.
There are plenty of cases of that being done. Even some of the old terrorists, like I remember that terrorist event that happened in the 80s at the something David Hotel, where they hid men under the burqa or whatever. Of course, a lot of people say that was a Mossad, whatever. I don't know, but the David Ben Gurion Hotel or something like that. Now, FOMO, I'm sure you've probably been to Europe. You've probably gone,
No.
No, you've never been to Europe?
I have, and you guess what? Thanks to James, I have zero interest to go to Europe. I have zero interest to go any further than Mexico because I am the lamest person in the world. Honestly, Wisconsin is far enough for me. Yeah. I have.
You tweet that. You tweeted that recently, didn't you? You tweeted that you didn't want to go
It's far enough. And my family's gone. My family's from Sicily and stuff. And my mom and dad eventually went, which surprised me. I never thought they would. But I don't. I'm tired, man.
Well, FOMO, did you ever want to go to Europe, or was it after you saw the immigration and how it's changed that you were kind of nah, I'm good, I'm gonna stay here? Like you know.
I honestly like I've taken a couple 5-hour plane trips either like to Hawaii or in America, and I was like, that's enough. I never
It is
wanted
long, isn't it?
like it's more that. Like I don't like I don't like the act of travel like that.
Yeah.
So that's part of it.
Yeah.
But then yeah, now as an adult, I'm like, it's fine. I
Now,
don't need to go over there.
now I will say this, like for people who've never been to Hawaii, when you step off the plane in Hawaii, is that not just the best feeling in the world? The
Yeah, it was
smell,
cool.
the hydrated or the balmy air, the wind, whatever, it just feels like vacation. So, you know, I could only imagine like flying to Europe, you get off the plane, it's like an 11, 12-hour flight. You get over there and you're like, why did I fly here? But as far as like, you know, wanting to cover women up, like what's that all about from a female standpoint? I mean, does that, how does that make you feel? Does that make you upset? Does it make you think like, well, women should be more modest, or what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, obviously in their culture, it's because they're barbaric people with absolutely no control. Like I've been naked around people and not been groped and raped.
Let's go.
So
Let's
there
go.
are people with like self-control. And that whole culture is just so weird about it too, because it's like centuries of this, and they're all gay
They
anyway.
are, even,
To
even
the
though
where
they
I
don't.
almost kept like,
Oh, you're right. They have that bachabazi, that the dancing boys thing that they have
yeah, they
going on.
think that's how they teach men about sex is just raping little kids, and like they're just. I don't know. I get and but I get the modesty thing too. Obviously, raise your daughters to be modest and stuff. But yeah, it's always just seemed really weird to me that like that's just so overkill.
Yeah.
But they're like cave people. They're
Yeah.
low IQ cave people, and it's just been ingrained and ingrained and ingrained.
Uh,
I don't know how you undo it.
yeah. Do you think the invention of the bikini was the downfall of Western society? Like back in, I think the bikini was invented in like the 40s or something like that, and then, you know, it got updated. I didn't see anybody lose their shit about it when the bikini. Of course, I wasn't around back then, but I didn't hear about any civil unrest when, you know, women started wearing bikinis or shorter bathing suits or whatever. Uh, you know, it just seems like a different type of culture, like you said. And women should feel free, like how men can walk around with their shirts off. Do women not lust after men? You know, to kind of turn it on its ear. Whatever.
Never,
Yeah,
never,
yeah, right.
ever.
Yeah, right. I have a couple of
No,
dates.
it is, but there's like it does. There's probably a double-edged, like everything, double-edged sword, to it, right? Where like, yeah, it's good. Obviously, people are like, bikini at the beach, which honestly, though, at the beach in the waters, the bikini isn't the best thing. It always comes off in the waves. You know what I'm saying?
And
In
I'm not
pools,
mad about
okay,
that. I'm not mad about that. I'm not
but
gonna lie.
but now
Uh,
I'm like, I'll go to the like water park, and there'll be like teenage girls in literal full-on thongs at
yeah.
the water park, and I'm like, okay, is this really necessary? I feel like such an old, like my mom when I'm there. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, and I'm like, it's just funny how things are
Oh,
changed.
no, it definitely changes a
Different.
lot. And pretty soon women are just going to be naked. Either that or they're going to be fully clothed like the Muslim. We're not going to have any in between. You know, the other thing that I think is pretty crazy is how, like, there was a time, FOMO, when fat women knew not to pull their body out. But now that time is over with, right? There's like no shame in fat woman's game, bro. They'll put on a micro bikini, which is basically, you know, a normal dress, but they'll put on a micro bikini and go to the beach, go to the pool or whatever. And that's like, what's the thought process behind that? Is this body acceptance like gone too far? Is there or am I
I
out
just
of
don't care.
out of line saying
I
that?
just don't care. I think they're just comfortable and they don't care and whatever. But like, more power to them. Like, if I'm like on my time of the month and feel bloated, I'm like, I'm not wearing anything. I won't even wear a pair of shorts, or like, I just feel so embarrassed that
Yeah.
these people, and I'm not even fat. You know what I mean? But like these people, I don't know. It's definitely started with the body acceptance and just being fat is okay, which we saw during COVID. Being fat is okay, even
Yeah.
though it was like the number one
I
comorbidity.
know, right?
Like,
That's so wild to me. Everybody who's fat dies earlier, sooner, especially with COVID. It's not good. We got Hillbilly Harry. He says the bikini is the greatest invention of man, along with yoga pants. Now, FOMO, do you remember when the yoga pants first came out and Lululemon? They didn't quite get it right, and they were translucent. You could basically see through the yoga pants. That was a good year.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
Yeah, and then they fixed it.
And I remember when yoga pants came out too. I was like, why weren't these around when I was in high school?
Yeah.
Not that they're like this super sexual at my pooch ones, but like that would have been what I wore to high school every day because I always like hated going to high school because I didn't have cool clothes and stuff. But like if I could wear yoga pants every day, that would have been the best thing in the world.
Yeah, they're basically ninja pants.
Too
You're
light
like
for
a
that.
ninja all the time.
Yeah.
We got D-Wag in the chat. He says he's been told he turns women into water slides. Yeah. Kelly Cat says she won't be caught dead in a bikini. Why is that, Kelly Cat? Are you more conservative than that?
Boo, boo, boo.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
No bikini, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Are you more conservative? Or you wear a one piece? Like, what's women's attire going to? Also, Miami.
I want to see a two-piece bikini on the go, mate. When I go to the beach, I wear a male G-string, so I want to see, like, female equivalent.
Yeah. Also, Miami says she sure will. CK says he won't wear one either. But what about men in Speedos, James? What about, in Europe, that's a big thing. Of course, it's frowned upon here in America. It was funny because I actually, I got a Speedo and I wore a Speedo to the beach and I got heckled the whole time I was at the beach. This was maybe like 10 years ago. What are your thoughts on that? Are Speedos in? Are they out?
My thoughts is, right, if you're like me and you've got a big package, you should wear a Speedo because it accentuates said package and that attracts the women.
Yeah.
But if you've got a small package, I wouldn't advise wearing a Speedo. There's a guy, right? There's a guy called Peter Stringfellow. You should look him up, right? He wears the male G-string. He's dead now, but he always wore the male G-string. And he wasn't a particularly good-looking guy, but he fronted it, you know what I mean? And there was like, I took inspiration. And every time I went down to the beach, I would wear a brightly coloured male G-string. And you'd be surprised how it attracts the women. You know what I mean? You got to go out there and you got to peacock it. If you go to Europe, you'd be surprised. You'll see all these old fat men, right, on beaches all throughout continental Europe, right, and they'll be bronzed and they'll be wearing like the skimpiest, like a male G-string or Speedo or pant or something, you know what I mean, at the beach. In Europe, they don't care. The women will have their tits out. Yeah. It's just a culture, and you want like, you get this Islamic culture coming over here going, no, we can't have that. I'm like, no, yes, we need more of it. Yeah. Hands off the boobs, mate. Hands off.
Well, the thing that I can't stand about Speedos is when I see like a big fat man that looks like he's pregnant, and then he's got like that Speedo hanging on at the very bottom, and it's like at any moment that thing could snap and then like shoot out, and you're just like, no, I don't want to see this. Yeah, 100% agree with that. Now
I've seen that in the swimming pool where someone's lost their bikini in the swimsuit and all that. Because I used to do like lifeguarding and stuff, so I've seen it all the time, mate. Sometimes it's a happy accident when the women are a bit on the portly side, shall I say? It's not a happy accident.
Yeah. No, the thing is that like I'm my main thing is like women come in all shapes and sizes. I'm just talking about the women who are morbidly obese, that they shouldn't wear all that kind of stuff. If women are athletic or, fluffy as they call them, like, I don't have a problem with that. And the same thing with men too. Men shouldn't be wearing Speedos and G-strings and shit ever, really, I think. But when they look like they're pregnant, it's like, what the hell, bro?
The bit is when they have like, have you seen the belly where it's very swollen?
Yes, that's what I'm
you get a man
about.
who's got an incredibly swollen belly, the actual mass, and it's hanging over him. Yeah, that's cool.
And you could barely see the Speedo. It's terrible. D-Wag in the chat says James really be rocking a banana hammock. Yeah, for sure, bro.
What a mankini! I've always wanted to try the mankini.
Yeah, the mankini. What was you saying, FOMO?
I was saying I could see James out there, even if it wasn't like a full-on Speedo, but like a pair of like the tighter, littler ones. You know what I mean? Like I could see him out there in those, even if it's like kind of like shortcut still. But
like the guy, what the guys wear in the UFC, something like that for sure.
I would love a cameo in the new Baywatch. A lot of the women in the new Baywatch look ugly. They look terrible. So I would love a little cameo just running on the beach like David Hasselhoff.
Yeah. We got CK talking about James measuring his package in nanometers. Well, that's the metric system. I'm not familiar with that. Okay. So the beach is great. Now, have you guys ever, you guys can answer this or not, or known friends that would fuck at the beach? Now that's different. That's a little bit more wild. maybe you've had a good time at the beach, maybe under the moonlight, you know, a little bit of beach access or something like that. Like I had a girlfriend. We would set up a nice little tent and all that kind of stuff. And of course, there was nobody around, but that was a lot of fun. And even in Hawaii, I had a good time at the beach. Sometimes in hot tubs or whatever. But other times, you know, maybe you don't want to get wet. I don't know. What chat? What do you guys think in the chat? Is beach sex overrated? How do you keep the sand in the right places and not in the wrong places? James, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, with my girth, I kind of fill out the area, so there's no sands.
Of course,
it's no sand to go. No, but like I used to go clubbing in Eastbourne to Atlantis, and like if I pick up a bird and I was like, I just can't be asked to go back to the place or something. We used to, because the beach is on the beach, and literally you would just walk up the pier, go around the corner, and there would be the beach. And then it's the same with Brighton, and then the same with Beachhead. I'm all for like alfresco sex.
Oh, yeah.
I think alfresco sex is great. Car sex, you know, anywhere you can get it, mate. Round the back of an alley, mate. I don't care.
Yeah, we got Also Miami in the chat says it's overrated, but she loves anything she can get caught doing. Is that part of the spice?
The risk.
Yeah, FOMO is the risk of being caught in public. Is that something?
Oh yeah.
Is that something that do all women like that, or does it take a special kind of woman? I kind of think all women are kind of
I think
excited.
some of them go like, wait, like there's different levels of right? It's a spectrum for sure. Like stopping at like the local gas like thing in the mountains and fucking in the bathroom. Not that I've ever done anything like that.
No, of course
you know,
not.
like
Of course
things
not.
like that, where like you're not gonna get caught. The only beach I wouldn't ever be on the beach either because of the sand worries. But I did have one time it was a moonlit beach house rooftop like deck in Virginia Beach, and that was pretty sweet.
That's not bad.
But
Yeah, that's pretty good.
yeah, but outside, no, I agree. Outside, car stuff's like so. Like if you are in like a sexless relationship or whatever, like start going around and messing around in the car.
The
because you're
car
like
will
trying
make
to
it
not
happen.
get caught. Yeah, and then you're like, and then it just gets hot and heavy really fast.
Yeah,
so it's
really
like,
quick. It'll fix you
it's
up
so
real quick.
dirty. It's like all of a sudden you're in like giving a blowjob in the Wendy's parking lot, and you're their like husband. You know,
Not
so
that
it's
that's
fine,
ever
but,
happened.
like-
Not that that's ever happened.
right, you know, that's just an example.
Yeah, that's like an example of something that could happen. What about you, James? I'm sure you've gotten one or two blowjobs in the Wendy's parking lot, or driving. I've gotten a few driving before, and I'm just kind of like,
I told you the Beachy Head one, didn't I?
Yeah.
People go to Beachy Head, right? Either because it's like a suicide point, right? Or people go there for sex. As I'm here today, I never went there.
Is sex and suicide interrelated like that? Is it like the same
It's like,
thing?
you know, people go up top, like Google Beachy Head, right?
Yeah.
People go up to Beachy Head either to throw themselves off the cliff or like, you know, like say like when you were younger and you were like living with your parents or somewhere, but you had a car. So like you couldn't take your girl back to your place, could you, or something, because of your parents or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're like you go up to after you come out of the club, the bar, the pub or whatever, then you zoom up to Beachy Head and then you shag your bird and then you take her home. And it's like there is something about it because like there always that risk of getting caught or someone driving by. It adds a bit of that danger. It adds a bit of that urgency. It adds a bit of that passion. You're in the moment.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes that's a lot better than just rolling into bed, you know, and quickly banging one out.
Yeah.
It's like I kind of like the alfresco aspect. You got kind of like there's nothing worse than a boring stale sex life. Is that you do it to a routine. Right, it's Wednesday, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Time for sex. You know, we put the kids to bed. We've had dinner. We've done the washing up. Now we're going to have 5 minutes of unsatisfactory sex on a Wednesday evening. And I'm like, come on, mate.
Yes.
It's like a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Even if, like FOMO says, you just go to the Wendy's car park and like you blow him or something. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
it's got to be spontaneous. It's got to be spontaneous for sure. You don't want to have, like you said, that Wednesday when you're going to have tuna casserole, then you actually have tuna casserole. That's no fun. We got D-Wag in the chat. He says church parking lots are dangerous. D-Wag, what are you doing going to a church parking lot? That's crazy. Kelly Cat says Roadhead is fun. Also Miami says camping, hiking, beach day. What other kinds of
stuff? Hiking's a big thing in America, isn't it? Kelly was mentioning it to me. She likes to go hiking, and I'm like, well, why don't you incorporate sex and hiking? It sounds like a really good combination. You know, you're working up a sweat on the way up. and then you can, have a bit of fun, and then work up a sweat on the way down.
Yeah, no, you definitely have to go on hiking trails that are infrequented. We have a whole bunch of hiking trails here, like especially in LA, that like you'll see like 300 people just going. So I don't know how you would.
So busy.
I don't know how you would have like Runyon Canyon. Like, how would you have sex on Runyon Canyon or anything like that? But FOMO, what else would you do to spice up the sex life? Like, you got the spontaneity. You could, that thrill of getting caught. Put a bag over their head and beat them with a stick. I don't know.
Oh, I was writing asphyxiation. Isn't that how Michael Hutchins died from In Excess? I think he died from autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yeah, well, I do know that girls do like to be choked a little bit, and I don't mean choked over the windpipe. I mean like the carotid artery. That's a different thing. You don't want to choke a woman on her windpipe, bro. Was that
what that black girl was doing to Caitlin Clark? Was it a sexual thing? When she was like,
yeah. Bro, it looked like it because she like smiled.
I know. What was that all about? That was wild, bro. That must have been some sexual thrill where she was like,
it looked AI. Like when they slowed it down, it looked AI because it was like slow. AI's like got a weird tempo to it. But then like it was just like, what's going on? That's crazy, man.
Yeah. James, have you ever had an experience with the women who enjoy a bit of violence when it comes to it?
Would you call like inexplicably shoving 3 fingers up your anus? Would you?
No. I mean, they want you to do it to them. I'm not talking.
Yeah, some woman was like, she goes, I want you to like hit me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? I went, what? And I go, what? Open hand? And she's like, no, closed fist. And I'm like, whoa. This is a fucking trap right here. You want me to actually hit you closed fist?
Yeah.
Yeah, she goes, just give me a tap. And I'm like, yeah, but what constitutes a tap for me might not constitute a tap for you. And I ain't having you go to the fucking hitting you, darling.
No.
You know what? You want me to bruise you up.
Yeah.
And then you go to your family, your mother, your father, your brothers. And then I've got to deal with a problem because I'm trying to explain to them, oh, it's all right. She wanted me to hit her. I'm like, yeah, I ain't falling for that trap, mate. No fucking way.
Yeah, no.
No close fist. Are you fucking crazy?
Yeah. I can't imagine.
I thought she just wanted the back of the hand across the face or something.
Yeah, I've had a couple situations like that, and it threw me. I just don't understand it. Or even a couple where they had this rope that they want to be tied up in. Have you guys seen that? And I'm just like, bro, I don't know. Or they pull out the paddle or something like that. Like, FOMO, have you had girlfriends that you've heard stories about that kind of thing?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've been around. I have a paddle, not that I'm like into that, but it says slut on it. So if you hit someone with it, slut shows up in their skin.
Let's go. Well, that's different. That's okay. That's a little slut spanking.
No, it's just for sillies. But yeah, people are really into it. I've never had like a little like, I like to be dominated, but not like painful, but like. Like slapping me. Like I've never had to ask for like more or anything. So, and I don't want to be head up my face.
Of course not. But, right. Yeah. On the ass or whatever. That's great.
But I've known women like that too, who asked for it. Or I knew this one girl one time and she was like banging this dude. And like, he just all of a sudden, she was on top of him and he just all of a sudden went, boom. And just like, punched her off of him. And like it was not talked about, and she was just like she didn't press charges or anything, but because she could tell it was kind of a heat of the moment thing, but also like what the fuck kind of a thing, So like she's just like got up and left.
Did that freak her out? Like they were like in the middle of having sex, and then like he punched her.
He just punched her, cold clocked her, and so I was like, yeah, I think she went on to have a family and stuff, so I think she but like
not with the same guy or no? Like, with the same guy?
No, okay, different guy.
Yeah,
different guy.
Yeah, being cold cocked in the face.
My lip over.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Have you heard of that movie Donkey Punch?
Yeah. No, I know
what a donkey.
No, is. I know what a donkey punch is. I never saw the movie, but yeah. Shout out to Daniel Romano in the chat. Sorry about that, bro. Daniel, shout out to you, bro. Good to see you, bro. No, but I've known a couple of dominatrix too. Like I did jujitsu with 2 of them. One was like 6'1", and another one, she went and she had a dominatrix business where she smacked men, and then like.
Was it Tree?
No, it wasn't. But she was like, is it Tree pretty tall? Tree of Logic, isn't she pretty tall?
I assume so. She's got like big black woman energy.
Yeah.
So
No, this lady was a white lady, but she was like Tree Logic, and she would tell me about like how she would get flown in all kinds of places to like step on men, to tie them up, to like saran wrap them. They would want to be spit in the mouth. It's all kinds of crazy stuff. She would make like 25 grand a weekend just doing this stuff. And I was just like in amazement, bro. I was like, wow.
too clinical for me. Like I've had people kind of ask just because I had the mommy name, like the thing, and like it's just like these men who are subs, they're actually the very bossy ones. They're the ones who are like, I'm gonna pay you to do this to me, and you do how you need to do, so it's kind of like weird dynamics, and like it's just like, okay, I'm hitting you, like, and if I'm not getting it, I mean, I'm assuming that the dominatrix maybe gets something out of it, or maybe they're just able to like completely put an acting hat on or something, but I just was always like, it's too clinical. Like I'm too, when it's sexual stuff, it's got to be organic. Or, I can't be like,
Spontaneous. Yeah, it's got to be spontaneous. There has to be that
yeah.
electricity of excitement. But I guess if you're going to make 25 grand in a weekend with no sex, all you have to do is dress up in leather and then like, beat somebody up or
And
whatever.
eat a guy.
Yeah, and isn't that kind of weird when the guy says, "Okay, here's what I want you to do. First, I want you to kick me in the balls. Then I want you to spank my ass. Then I want you to spit on me. Then I want you to tie me up. And no matter what I say, don't untie me." Like, I mean, like that kind of ruins the whole, spontaneity, excitement.
Changes
One time a
diaper.
guy asked me to
Yeah.
there is probably that too. A guy asked me to hang on to his like the lock for his like chastity dick holder thing. I'm like, no, I'm not hanging on to the key to the lock of his like,
Yeah.
so he can't get a, like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's like, no, I'm not hanging on to that. Like, A, like, why are you doing that? B, like, and why, like, what's the thrill of like me having this? I mean, I could understand, I guess, that, but like, so I was just like, oh my God, that's too much.
I know, but then
It's too much.
also I would always be worried, like, is it gonna progress? Especially if I'm like a woman and I'm a female dominatrix. There's a chance that this guy could turn into like a hyper stalker. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, like, find out where you live and then start tracking you and then all that kind of stuff. That's a concern too. I would be worried about that. I don't know how women that are doms protect themselves about that. I don't, I guess they carry a gun or a knife or nunchucks or something. I don't know. Maybe they know the turtles.
Now
Ninja
that's the
turtles.
thing, right? That I've seen recently, or not so recently, over the last year or so, that actually turns me on. Have you seen those Have you seen those Britney Spears lingerie videos where she does the knife dancing? Now I've always had a thing for Britney Spears.
Okay.
I could just imagine, like, if I could just get in there and she's got this like knife kink and she does all the knife play, I could kind of think I could roll with that and kind of enjoy it, watching Britney Spears do her like knife dancing and like getting a bit hot and heavy with her, and she could bring the knives to the bedroom if she wanted. You know what I'm saying? I'm not against it.
Yeah. No. The funny thing is what is the turn on with the knife thing? Like, I don't get that. Like, maybe I'm just like I don't like the pain or the I don't know, the thought of killing or cutting or whatever. What is it, James? What is it with the knives?
I don't know. I just think it's like, I think when you had sex and danger, when you have danger and sex, I've seen people like fuck around with guns. You know what I'm saying? It's like they fucking, like fucking. I don't know if they're fucking loaded. They're probably not. You know what I mean? But I've seen fucking people do shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I think when you had that sex and danger, I think some people just get bored.
Okay.
With the straight up and down of it all. I think some people are just not cut out to have a boring, mundane sex life. Some people need more. And like you said, when you start going down that rabbit hole, it eventually becomes more and more extreme, doesn't it? Until you end up like a Michael Hutchins and you die of autoerotic asphyxiation. Or what was it? David Carradine was found up, trussed up, wasn't he? I don't know if it was sex or it was Yakuza, but he was found trussed up in a wardrobe when he choked to death masturbating. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's like, once you start going down that rabbit hole, I'm telling you, like, I always think about this with Nick Recader, right? I always think, mate, when is he going to get bored? Is he going to get bored, or is he going to continue to push the envelope? Because he started down that path, and he's not someone who does it in the dark.
Yeah.
He basically lives out his sex life out in the open. You know what I mean? He likes that danger. He likes people knowing. You know what I mean? He likes, being talked about. So I always wondered how far he's willing to go down the rabbit hole, because I could imagine it could be quite addictive once you get started.
Well,
you can't imagine Nick going back, can you, to missionary on a Wednesday evening at 8 o'clock? I don't think that'll do it for him.
Well, I think there's two factors that go into this, and FOMO, you tell me if I'm right or wrong or not. But I think number one is it's a sense of power that you feel once you realize that nobody's going to stop you, and all of the barriers you thought existed don't exist. I think the other thing too is there's no emotional connection. Sex is supposed to have that emotional connection. Some people call it like a soul match or something like that, a soul tie or whatever. I notice a lot more and more people don't have that soul connection when they're having sex, which is supposed to be the fulfilling part. The physical part isn't supposed to be the fulfilling part. It's supposed to be the emotional connection. What are your thoughts on that, FOMO? Is that the truth, or am I barking up the wrong tree here?
No, I think that should be the truth, and I think that's what we've seen go wrong with a lot. Just like all these young girls trying to act like men and stuff, and like that men can kind of more often than not have a more of emotionless sex in a way, or detached sex, right? But women have been trying to do it, and then now it's just now it's like from at both ends, so it's completely detached. And yeah, it should be good, but the whole thing's like Nick too. Like, man, like exhibitionism is bigger than a lot of people think too. Like all the pride shit going on too. Like pride used to be whatever, now it's just a whole exhibitionism thing in front of children, right? Like it's like they have zero boundaries. Like
Yeah.
all these people could go to private sex clubs or whatever, do it there with people with consent, but no, they're like, we gotta do it in front of kids. So anytime, it's all slippery slope.
Well,
That's like some people just can't dip their toes because it's
Well, and I also believe that a lot of things start out with one intent and it changes. I think that sex is kind of like this wedge topic to open the door to try to groom a different population of people. Like you were saying, it has become a lot about the kids, and of course we are right now in Pride Month, so we have to acknowledge that.
Oh yeah, can I say something
Of course,
funny?
yeah.
So last night my friend was in town. He does comedy and he lives 3 hours away in the mountains. So when he comes to Denver, do a couple shows, he stays here. And I'll go, it's just random little comedy shows here and there. And of course, this girl gets up and she's a queer. She looks like a normal Midwestern woman, right? But she had a rainbow thing in her hair and she's like, I'm a queer comic. Regardless. And then she goes, and it's hard to like dress in rainbow and not look like a 5-year-old. And it's like, oh, interesting little tidbit you just tapped
Yeah.
into there, huh, sweetheart? Like
Yeah.
maybe you're trying to appeal to children with all this crap. Like it was just interesting. And then I'm in this place and like I saw a little pride thing on like the sticker on the outside, but then I was there with my friend and I posted a picture with her. And then I look up behind us, they had all these pride flags hanging. And then I like started looking around. It was like from like pride flag and pride like it's like everywhere you look. That's so stupid. Like we're almost done with it.
No, it's really become a religion. It's not really a movement for equality anymore. It's like a religion. And one of the worst things, we're about ready to talk about this here in a second, is the indoctrination on kids. And there was a Jesuit, I forget who he was a famous Jesuit. If Presby Bro's in the chat, maybe he'll know. But he said, give me a boy before the age of 5 and he'll be a Jesuit for the rest of his life. And you can only imagine what the implications of what that could mean. And it's another reason why, like cigarettes and beer and even soda, they strive to get children because they know that if they can get children young enough, they'll have brand loyalty for the rest of their life. You get somebody smoking Marlboros when they're 13 or 14, they'll be smoking them until the day that they die. They're not going to change cigarettes. They kind of root for it like a team. So that's something to be aware of. Which is crazy, and I think that it's hidden a lot from the general public. I think a lot of human psychology is hidden on purpose so that people don't figure this kind of stuff out. Now we do have you were on the Alex Stein show. I really like that. I thought you did a fantastic job having a conversation with Stein. We love Stein around here. And Stein was fantastic. Let me bring that up real quick. Let me see. Let me do the right clicking and all that kind of stuff. How'd that go? How long have you known Stein? Have you known him a while?
Yeah, I've like back to COVID, and I think when I think we really got more introduced when some probably through Chrissy Mayer a little bit because remember he used to do a lot more with Chrissy Mayer at first and stuff. So I think that's, but yeah, we've been following each other since pretty early on in COVID. I've never met him in person, but
But I thought
yeah, I've always liked him.
you made a lot of really good points when you were talking about local government. You talked about your experience running for government. What position specifically did you run for? I forgot. I want to say mayor, but maybe that's wrong.
Maybe next year. Maybe I'll do mayor next year. No, it was a district, so it was like city council district 4. So it was like
Yeah,
part of the town.
yeah. And I'll drop that link in the chat if anybody wants to go watch that later. It's a fantastic interview with FOMO and Alex Stein. And Stein's great. Stein's I've talked to him a couple times. He's a great guy. And he's hilarious. Of course, he came to relevance by going to local city councils and doing all kinds of crazy bombastic, basically roasting the councilmen and all that kind of stuff, and put it on YouTube. We all loved it, and then he made a career out of it. So I say good for him. And also he was on Cheaters before that. He was the producer on Cheaters and almost got that show. Did you ever used to watch Cheaters, FOMO?
I never even watched that.
Yeah,
I'll have to go
it's
back and watch some of it.
James, do you know what the show Cheaters is all about? I don't know, do they have that in the UK? They probably only have it here in America.
Yeah, it's my life philosophy.
Yeah, but that was some definitely some trash TV for sure. But going back with what you were saying, FOMO, this is a high school counselor right here, and she wrote a book about kids and their mental health and how they have to find a new family if their parents aren't accepting of their gender identity. And that's what this is. This is basically a religion. We talk about relationships here, and what more important relationship can you have than a relationship with your parents, especially if you're growing up as a child. We've got all these teachers that are indoctrinated and then trying to program your children. It's crazy. They're getting funding from everything. That's why it's important to get involved in your municipal government and watch out for what's going on in the schools with all the kids, because you don't want your kids to grow up programmed.
They'll show up. It's protected by law and pushed by law here. And like I go down to these when they put these, testimonies. These queer people show up and they're like, "Well, my family didn't accept me, and my trans family took me in, and and further groomed me and made me even creepier and weirder." That's what the real story is. And there was even a lady who was a state senator, and she like bragged how she had a crash couch for
Yes.
when kids weren't accepted by their parents. Well, then guess what? So she was a drunk.
Yeah.
So she got busted for being a drunk once as senator, like showing up to meetings. And now she's dead because she drank and she killed herself. Luckily, like the little woman had a 0.1 or what is it, 0.08. So it was like ridiculous. But so I'm like, that's what you get. That's like karma. Because she was up here bragging about how she like was drunk. If a drunk adult is saying they're having someone else's kids stay on a couch in their house because they're mad at their parents about sexual issues, that's like, hello, this is abuse.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
yeah,
I'm glad she's dead. Call me a bad person. I'm a bad person.
How can anybody call you a bad person? No, these are opinions. Everybody's entitled to have their opinion, right? You're not going to throw. That's the thing, is that like I remember a time when people could have like the crazy uncle or the crazy aunt or whatever, but you guys all still came together to have your turkey on Thanksgiving. I've got a lot of crazy aunts and uncles in my family. I've got one who goes around, and she's older. She used to be a nun, and she goes around teaching Somali migrants how to read and write in English. She thinks that's her mission now, how to do that.
That should be illegal.
Yeah, I'm like, why? Why are you doing that? That's crazy, man. But they're very progressive. They're very Democrat. They've always been that way. Back in Kentucky, I'm sure Kelly Cat knows what I'm talking about. That's kind of like the way it is back there, and it's a lot to deal with, bro. It's a lot to deal with. So I thought that was fantastic that you went on Stein's show. That was a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, and I don't know if I brought, but he brought up Mersh
Oh,
right
yeah.
away.
Yeah.
It was funny because like I was waiting in the back with I don't know if it's his producer who asked me to get me on because I know his producer is Lila Hart's husband, Eric. So like I've done shows with him and stuff before.
Yeah.
But so we were like chatting and then Alex pops in and they're like, blah, blah. And he said something about like, oh, we're best friends both friends with Mersh. And then he's like, okay, we're gonna start the show, which was about politics, right? But then like literally the very first thing he's like, now Jessica, I know you're friends with Mersh, and then just right into let's talk about his breakup and everything. And it was just like, oh my God.
Bro, I thought that was hilarious.
It was fun. I couldn't tell Mersh because I told Mersh right away. I'm like, look, because I had told Mersh when I recorded. I'm like, he brought you up, but I didn't know it was going to be on the show.
Yeah,
It's a political show that's like national, and he was like, Mersh, let's talk about Mersh's relationship. But yeah, it was funny because he said some funny stuff, and I was just trying to like kind of pragmatic. I did say I think Mersh is better off without her, which I think Mersh knows I felt that way, so that's nothing new. And then I also said like, but I also get like wanting companionship, like everything I've said about
Bro,
it before,
everybody gets horny. Yeah, let's go, right? Everybody gets horny.
Yeah.
100. You got
That was so funny. I was just like, and then I'm watching and I'm like, literally the first thing he says.
Yeah.
Mersh.
Well, and speaking of Mersh, I mean, he's on that cruise right now with all the guys and their significant others.
I hope they're having fun.
I hope they're having a blast. Yeah, I've been doing a couple of those cartoons, imagining him bringing his 3 cats, which is just funny to think about. But I hope they're having a blast. I hope he's out there, healing up or doing whatever. And that's one of the things is you can't really direct somebody else's love life. You just got to let it happen because they know what's best for them. You just hope that, I've had it happen to me a couple times. I'm sure James has too. And maybe you have FOMO, is where you have a friend and like they break up with somebody. And you're like, oh, fuck them, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden they get back with them like 2 weeks later and you're like, oh shit. And then they're like, well, we're not going to talk to you very much anymore because you talk shit about so-and-so when we broke up. But I was like, bro, I was trying to be a good friend. And now, like, you guys got back together. Now you told her that I said this shit about you. Now she doesn't want you interacting with me anymore. Like, what the hell, bro? So, yeah, it gets me all mad. Have you ever had that happen, FOMO? I'm sure you have, bro. So I'm sure you've had some friends.
I know. I mean, now the latest situation with Mersh, but like,
I know, right?
I tried to not say too much bad stuff.
Yeah.
But he'd been dropping in the things like maybe everybody shouldn't be saying so much bad stuff, but also like whatever, like everyone's an adult and stuff. But
yeah,
you can't know anything. That's the thing about like people can ask you advice or whatever, but like you just don't know. You can't like 2 people. You will never know when they're alone. You never know exactly what's going on. So it's like.
Yeah. You could accidentally put 3 fingers in the wrong place and the guy's going to cold cock you. You just don't know, right, James? You're like, oh, shit.
I don't know. I'll make it a point. Right, of never interfering in other people's relationships because it's not wanted, it's not helpful. And usually what's going to happen, you're doing it from a good and honest place and you'll be the one that gets your head bitten off.
Yeah.
That's what happens. And I'm like... So I don't get involved. And the thing with Mersh, I genuinely like Mersh.
Yeah.
There's nothing that, when I look at him, there's nothing I really don't like about him. So I'm rooting for the guy. And it's like, on one hand, I'm like, mate, she cheated on you and made you look like a mug with your friend of 18 years who now said he isn't your friend, but he's saying that because he's trying to justify his actions. So you've kind of lost your friend and you've lost your girlfriend, and he's kind of made a mug out of you. But you kind of handled it the best way you could. If I was in Mersh's shoes, and I'm an arrogant guy, so I'm being genuine and honest here, I don't think I could have handled it any better than he handled it. I think he handled it immaculately. You know what I mean? He's come out of this looking golden.
Yeah.
He handled it a lot better than how Ethan Ralph handles things. So I've got a lot of respect for him for that. Yeah. But like I've always said, never go back. He shouldn't go back. If he was contemplating it, it's silly and stupid. That's just because you're feeling down in the moment. If you measure your self-worth by a bird that cheats on you, then you need to get your head read because like he lives in a good area. There's plenty of birds out there. Get back on the horse. He's going on this cruise. I'm sure there's a load of single women on this fucking cruise. You can dip your toe back in there, get back in the game. And like tomorrow's another day. And when you live in an area, right? I used to live in South London. You could walk out your door and you trip over your own fucking tongue. He's the same. He lives in Florida, doesn't he? He fucking walks out of his door. There'll be somewhere where you could trip over your tongue. So don't worry about a girl that sits in the corner, plays on a Switch, and looks like she comes out of the TV from the ring. You know what I mean? It's like I'm not fucking getting. I'm bent out of shape. If she'd have been a grey day, like 12 out of 10, I'd get bent out of shape about it. But there's no way on God's green earth that James Grabham could ever get bent out of shape about a bird like our stancer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I just couldn't get bent out of shape about a bird like that. Yeah, I'd be pissed that she mugged me off and cheated on me, but it wouldn't be because of like, wow, I've lost someone who's amazing. Because to me, she was ordinary, average.
Well,
and she didn't really have a lot of good bands. How people are in the chat generally, like, take looks out of it. I always talk about FOMO, but put part looks to one side. What's very important to me is grade A number one is the banter, is the chemistry, is the back and forth. Do we have a good flirt? Do we have a good vibe? Can we be in the room, right, and be comfortable within our own silence?
Yeah.
That's how I kind of measure a relationship. If I'm talking to someone on the phone, is there all these constant ums and ahs and ers and like dead air? If there's that, then I'm not really interested. There has to be a vibe before there's that like looks and sexual chemistry. You know what I mean? There needs to be a vibe. And I could never see how you could vibe with someone who seemed to me to be incredibly antisocial in Istancer.
Well, I agree. She is a kind of antisocial, but sometimes it's okay to be quiet together. I'm sure FOMO. I'm sure you've had that experience where you and Mr. FOMO are just kind of sitting in the room and you're doing your thing, and maybe
we spend most of the day, don't even know each other, live in the same house. Like
yeah, and then and then you're
that
like,
was another thing Alex started going hard on too. Was he was like, well, towards the end, right before he was like, well, just got to make sure you don't have too low of expectations or whatever. And he just went so hard again at Mersh. It was just like, oh my god, Alex Stein.
Yeah, why? Well, he did say that. Oh, Mersh will be okay. I'm not worried about him. So all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But
that's how it ended. It was just funny. He's like, well, some people just have really low expectations. Not lower than low. They like went on it. It was just like, oh god.
He did. He went on a philosophical rant. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But I know that they've had like some pretty big conversations, and I know they got in that famous yelling match when they were both stone cold drunk and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, they're buds.
yeah, they're buds. They're gonna be fine. They're not gonna be worried about that. But it's fun. I hope he does rebound.
I love how he loves the gossip. I like how he loves the gossip, and because he's got like that cheeky cherubic face, it kind of makes it all the more interesting, when he's like twisting the knife a bit and having a bit of fun.
Yeah, that's what he was doing. He knows what he's doing. He's good at it too. He knows that he's like stoking the fire. He knows he's playing it up. He knows he's getting after it. So I thought that was pretty funny. Another thing that I thought was interesting was that let's see here what we got. We got this right here. We got dating app over in Sweden. What do you guys think about this? On a dating app, they're seeing a whole bunch of disparities like this. You got Shafiq, who's 30. He's like 5'6", and then you got Magnus, who's 6'4", but he's a bartender. So that's what's going on in Norway right now. Could you believe that? Like that's what the dating pool is like. What do you think about that, James? I mean, like, you got an absolute Chad, but he's uneducated. Like, what's a piece of paper matter anyway? Who do you think the woman's going to go for? Is she going to go for the short king? Is that what? Are we in the land of the short kings now? Because I thought every woman wanted a guy over 6 feet tall.
Has Shafiq got money?
I don't know. He's a research scholar, so it looks like he's he's at a Stockholm University, and I don't really. What's going on with Norwegian women or whatever? Why would they go for somebody like Shafiq? What are your thoughts?
I have no idea. I can only think it's because they've been programmed to. You know what I mean? Look, you've got a geezer over there that looks like he looks like a Greek god, doesn't he?
Yeah,
he
does.
He's been chiseled out of stone or something. You know what I'm saying? He's got that looks maxing thing going on, and it's like. This is the thing about the dating apps now, isn't it? It's a looks-based thing. People gravitate. The first thing you gravitate when you're like doing a swiping or you're on a dating site, you're immediately you look at what someone looks like, and if you're physically attracted to them. The geezer on the left looks Well, if I was a woman, he looks totally unappealing.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. It looks
I mean,
but are women even trying to date anymore, or are they just trying to get attention on these dating apps? FOMO, what's your thought on that? Do you hear that your girlfriends are out and about trying to meet guys at like in person anymore, or are they on dating apps, or do they even care? Should we even be paying attention to dating apps? Because they said that was the rage maybe 3 or 4 or 5 years ago.
I think it's just, I mean, it has to be for attention now because it's like you're getting this constant hit, just like my selfies and my thirst traps on X,
I have
like
seen some of those, FOMO.
Yeah, you get that hit. But of course when I do it, it's totally fine.
Oh, it's tasteful. It's
yeah,
tasteful.
I
It's
mean,
art.
but that's like rude during it for dating though, because there is an aspect where you would hope people are trying to like date,
Right. Find
like
a
actually
common
do
end, right?
something.
Like find out a stable
Yeah.
relationship. That doesn't seem to be what's going on. In fact, now we have these women who are flying all the way down to Brazil to pay $13,000 to have their body count spiritually reset to 0. Forest Mommy, what is body count? Does that matter? Does body count matter? Or will this really reset a woman's body count to 0? Going down to Brazil and having water.
I'll do it for half that price and just some white sage I got growing outside. If they want me to sage their cooch out a little bit.
So,
No, come on.
Purify the cooter. Yeah, cooter.
Yeah.
Got to purify the cooter. Yeah, but this is wild.
I'm sorry, but it's a physical thing, and it's a physical and spiritual and soul thing. Sex is, and like you can heal from things, you can forgive yourself for things, whatever. But it ain't going away. Like you can't undo that.
Yeah. Did you think that it's true when people talk about you can have so many partners that you ruin your ability to I don't know, connect emotionally, or can you recover from that? What are your thoughts about that, FOMO?
I think,
can a woman take too much dick? Can she take too much dick?
Yeah, I think it's much harder for a woman, especially, but yeah, obviously that can happen, and I think a woman. Actually, here's what I'll say: I think a woman who's done too much of it can come back from it a little bit, maybe, but like it just feels so dirty and like whatever. But I think a man can go from being a hoe to you can turn a man from a hoe to like a home man, no problem. I feel like if it's the right woman,
you can turn a man from a gigolo to a father, to a family man. Yeah. What do you think, James? Can you turn a man from a gigolo to a family man?
Well, you'd have to do it with me, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because I've slept with a considerable amount of women, and like I'd want to settle down one day, be part of a family. Okay. You know what I mean? Be in a like committed relationship where it was exclusive and I wasn't cheating and it was just us. So I think you can, but like going back to what FOMO says, can you imagine? And I've sent you stuff like this in the Love Boat. Can you imagine if you're the partner of Bonnie Blue or Lily Phillips?
Oh yeah,
they are so out there. And you've seen Lily Phillips's partner's Australian, and the way he acts around her, he acts like he's walking on eggshells. She's kind of like the man in the relationship, and she basically says, this is how it's going to be. This is who I'm sleeping with today. I need you to sit in the corner and, watch it. But, when we go home, we're together. And the difference between the sex that I have for money and the sex we have is the intimacy. I don't do kissing when I do my porn, but with you, I kiss you. It's loving, it's embracing. It's more of a romantic sexual experience as opposed to it's a financial and business transaction. So that's what she like says to him to get him on side. It's kind of like emotional blackmail because she's trying to differentiate what she does. But then she also says, "Oh look, I'm with this black guy who's an Adonis and has got a massive penis, and your penis isn't quite up to his standard, but you make up for it because you do it in a different way, a more loving way." And it's like, I don't know if I could be in a relationship like that and knowing all the men she's been with, and everyone who's watching pornography is watching my wife or fiance or girlfriend. You know, they're masturbating to her porn, but she's also my wife and the mother of my children. I don't know if I could square that circle, to be honest with you. I think it would be hard for me to live with that. But some woman who's just had a few sexual partners, if she was right for me, and you know, she's had more than the average, but she said, I'm going to be committed to you, we're going to go forward, we're going to have a family, a relationship, you know, I'll be like, yeah, sure, why not? Yeah. Because I've done the same. Who am I to judge?
Yeah. We got Roots in the chat. Shout out to Roots. He says, you're allowed to be fast and loose in your 20s and early 30s, but you got to grow up at some point. Do women mature with age, or do they mature when they have children? What are your thoughts on that, FOMO?
They mature when the man tells them what to do.
Let's go, FOMO. Yeah, let's go.
There is that aspect of it's such a funny dichotomy because yeah, women need to be led so much, but like they are more mature. Like there's just this aspect of more mature things. Like, okay, I gotta like hunker down, take care of the house, take care of the babies. Whereas the man's like, I need to go out and conquer and bring, and like, so there's different ways for the maturities to work. But yeah, I think I have seen people who like had kids and it did change their life.
Yeah, they got
changed
their
them
shit
from
together.
the most like selfish, terrible people I ever met in my life to like good, better, way better people. So there's that aspect of it too.
No, I agree with that 100%. I've seen drug addicts give up drugs because they had children. You know, so they wanted to be a better father than they had when they were a young boy, and that does change people. What do you think about this, James? So you got you know the idea of maturing, but you could also go in the opposite way, right? We got Clavicular right here, and he's out and about kissing what appears to be women, but on a closer look, it's a transgender individual. Is this the
is that FOMO's sister?
It's blonde. Yeah, she's definitely a blonde. But he just got. I mean, is this all staged? Like, what's going on here? Are they using?
Yeah, I think it could be.
Are they using him to? I mean, like, we'll just get right up in there with that all kissing, and everybody's got the video cameras going. They're all like, yeah, let's celebrate. I mean, like, he's basically put his tongue everywhere at this point, right, James? Like, what the hell?
That's an incredibly masculine jawline. That was my first thought. And then I was like, there's two of them, so they're sisters or something.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I always think now when you send me this stuff, is it like AI or something? But like, is he still in Paris? He's still in Paris, isn't he?
And I'm
like, I said to you, like, I did the old Adaman, the young Parisians are so French. It's a very, like, laissez-faire French culture. You know what I mean? It's very, they have, like, this very avant-garde culture, you know. A heterosexual man kissing a trans woman is seen as, like, high art over there. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, yeah, let's go over there and sample French culture and all it has to offer. A heterosexual man sticking his tongue down a trans woman's throat, you know, that'll get them talking, you know. And it's like, I mean, look at us. I mean, come on, it's like I don't know what's happening with Clavicular. I don't know where he's going. I think he's just like I said to you, didn't I, off screen? I think he's just trying to like get access to the pink pound, broaden his horizons.
Yeah, shout out.
And you said it was more of like a cultural thing, didn't you? I think you said, and I was like, it could be more of like a business transaction, you know, getting into the financial markets, the pink pound, and all that.
Yeah, well, you know, shout out to Carrie in the chat. I just saw that she showed up. Got to make that custard, Carrie. Let's go. You know, Clavicular is this plant. We all know he's Peter Thiel's plant, and Peter Thiel's, you know, kind of utilize him to shape masculine culture. And of course, you know, as men, okay, you know, we're older, right? Everybody here is a little bit older than Clavicular. We're not in our 20s. We're looking down at this guy like, what a piece of shit this motherfucker is, right? But the problem is that like all these like 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds are looking up at this guy like he's the fucking the best thing since sliced bread. And they're like, wow, this guy's cool. I want to hit my face with the fucking hammer. I want to go, wow, he's kissing transgender people now. I want to go kiss transgender people. So we got to protect the kids, right, FOMO? You got to like be on your P's and Q's, as they say in the South. Be on your toes, looking out for this thing at every turn. It seems like, is social media.
It's happened. It's happened before. I remember we were talking about the early 2000s with the like tight pants in the skater world.
Yes.
And then the
Yeah.
Screamo band started, and I swear to
Yeah.
God, all the Screamo band boys were like kissing each other and stuff for a while. And they're like young boys, like the kind of age that clavicular is probably like. I don't know, maybe it's cyclical a little bit too, or maybe that was just one notch in their goal of whatever they're doing, right? But I remember that because I remember my cousin, like he was in a screamo band, and like he there was a picture of him kissing another boy at a concert, and like, oh my God, my aunt, and like it was just the biggest deal in the world. And like, like he's not gay. He's married out. He's fucking commie, but he's married and he's a college commie, as I call him. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they're trying to like get more boys to try and experiment with it. Because it's way easier for girls to experiment with it, right? But like, I feel like it's a little more difficult. But boys,
yeah, I agree with you.
I don't even know anymore. I'm so like,
no, they're
everything's
trying to take masculinity out of society. And like, here's the thing: like, girls can fool around with other girls all they want to, right? That's fine. They can kiss, they can rub the fucking oysters together, they can get sloppy and all that kind of stuff. But they're still women. They could still. Now, when a man goes with another man and he gets his hole punched, that changes him, right? That changes him. And ask how many women.
gay.
Yeah.
It's gay.
Ask how many women, like women will say this all day long, but when it comes time to, hey, what if you found out that your guy had a 2-year relationship with another man? Are you going to stay with him? The majority of women would say, hell no, we're out of here. 100%. So we got Roots in the chat again. He says, my stepson is 16 and he absolutely despises this guy. He's base as hell, though. My daughter doesn't know who he is. I tested her. That's awesome, Roots. Well, good. Yeah, these social media people are lying motherfuckers. They're our version of the Beatles in order to, shape society. In fact, we got something else right here. I saw this clip of this guy, right? He's getting in a fight. He's out there. I don't know. Maybe you saw this, FOMO. This guy, he's in a
Street Fighter or something.
A Sailor Moon outfit, bro. This guy is like fucking ripped. He's in a Sailor Moon outfit. I don't know what the hell he's doing. And he's out here doing his thing. And look at that. Well, he's going to fight this other guy. Like, what the? So he fights this other guy, right? And but he's in it. What is this? Like back in my day, if you wore this outfit, you would have been choked out. But now he's doing the choking out. The other guy's wearing pants. This looks just like it looks kind of gay. James, what are your thoughts? So would you ever wear a Sailor Moon outfit out and about? Like what's happened with society? He gets one last kick in there for good measure. So that was pretty funny. What the hell?
Well, funnily enough, when I was talking to D-Wag on the phone, he asked me if I could dress up in that outfit and send him some photos. And I was like, look, mate, I'm not that way inclined. So I'm not gonna be dressing up like that, son. But no, it's funny, innit? I remember when black people used to be tough.
Yeah.
Now they're getting beaten up by Asians dressed like puffs.
Well, I mean,
it's a strange old world. Is this footage from the new Grand Theft Auto? Is this GTA 6?
GTA
is this what it's
6,
going to be like?
Yeah, right. No, but I do have something from GTA 6. Let me show you guys this, right? We got this right here. This individual wanted to be lesbian, then they wanted to be trans. Now they've discovered that they're really a dog. They're really a dog. They're really gonna wear a dog outfit. They've got all the tattoos, all of the nice colors, and they just feel more comfortable as a dog. So I'm not really sure what that's all about. You know what I'm saying? That's
I despise this. Well, FOMO was talking about it earlier, wasn't she? The Pride parades.
Yeah.
And one of the most disgusting things I ever saw at a Pride parade was there was like this white family was there, and they had this like young daughter, and then along comes these two men. Like fucking one of them's holding the dog lead and there's a dog on the floor, the fucking geezer pretending laughing as a fucking dog, right? Goes up to the girl, right? And the parents, right? The girl didn't want it anywhere near it, the young girl, but the parents push her to stroke the fucking dude.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it just disgusted me the way parents are behaving and like handing over their children to these absolute monstrosities.
This is what we're talking about, isn't it, Forrest Mommy? This is the idea that where's the line going to be? First, you want to, figure out your sexuality. Then maybe you're not, straight. Maybe you're gay. Okay. Maybe you're not a girl anymore. Maybe you're a boy. Now everybody's like, what? Now all of a sudden, like maybe they're a dog. Maybe they're something else. Like, where is all this coming from? I know you're going to say it's the Marxist indoctrination through the school Is that really what you think it is, FOMO?
Well, I mean, that's part of it, just the breakdown of the individual and the family. So you have these people who are just this is all they think about. They
I know,
don't
it's
think about their
crazy.
personality. Am I a good person? It's I'm queer, I'm cis or whatever, and it's just constantly that. And they're just yeah, I mean, that's just like that's the way to ruin a soul completely. It's in my opinion, it's sexual abuse. It's just another form of it, I guess. Like, you could either like rape some or like have a weird uncle do something, but if you have a weird uncle say
The
you're in the
creepy
wrong body or
uncle. Yeah.
make you feel uncomfortable in that same way,
Yeah.
yeah, it's all the same to me. But yeah, and I mean, even the furry stuff, people say, "Oh, it's not happening in schools." No, actually, like some of these schools were letting, and what's so, and the weird part about that is like, okay, now you're taking like where, so furries is actually a kink thing over
Yeah.
here for adults, right? But you have kids who kids wanna dress up like animals. Like, of course kids wanna dress up like animals, like, that's the coolest thing in the world, and so you have these parents letting them do it and letting them get into this all this stuff, and it's just like, I don't get it, like, it really has turned me into, like, I'm more strict than my mom, and if I
Yeah.
had kids now, I'd be more strict than my mom, like,
Facts.
But,
Yeah. Uh,
ugh.
and it's all aimed at kids. You got the bright collars, you got the you have the plushies, you have the the stuffed animals, you have all of these like I don't know, they act like they're infantile, the little voices and this and the non-confrontational, the passive aggressive shit. It's all aimed at children. And where it leads to is something like this. I don't know if you guys saw this, but I saw this. This is a big topic of conversation. There was an African migrant that was in Italy, and he was on the beach, right? And he was jacking off on the beach. He literally walks up on the beach, pulls out his dick, starts jacking off, and I'm like, what the fuck? So then what happens is he's on the beach, right? So then a whole bunch of men they get all upset at the African migrant, and so then they start a fight and they start beating him up and all that kind of stuff. Now I'm gonna fast forward it. He's all getting beat up and everything. That's not the interesting part, right? Because people
They brought the chairs in, they're hitting
th-
him with
this is
chairs.
It's been WWE there,
Yeah.
didn't it? They got to crack him on the nut with a chair.
WWE. Now the crazy thing is the African guy doesn't leave; he stays there. But the even more crazy thing is that we scroll towards the end of the fight, and what you got is you got men trying to protect the children and the family. Then you have this woman in the bikini right here, this one right here. She jumps up and starts protecting the African. She steps in between the men and the African, and she's trying to protect him from.
Beat her ass too.
That's what I'm
just beat all
saying.
these women that get in the way of fights and stuff, just beat their ass too.
Well, the crazy thing
Get out the way.
is that this guy did something that was wrong, and he deserved to be punished. So the men rise up to punish him, and the woman stops it. That's the problem with Western society at this point? What do you think about that, Forrest Mommy? You're somebody who's ran for office. You were in politics. You're one of the few that doesn't suffer from toxic empathy. Do women have too much empathy directed at these other groups of people, and they're kind of destroying? Is that safe to say, or how do we reconcile this? Oh, hold on, Rookie. I gotta reset your audio. Sorry about that. It glitched out real fast. Let me fix that. Okay, you're back. Yeah, you were talking about that they have a bleeding heart. Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, it's like the bleeding heart aspect, and like at least there was things in my life where I felt like I was more bleeding heart. I'm not like I'm a racist and not bleeding heart anymore. But like, yeah, I don't get this, especially in this very specific situation where he did something so very. The thing they're always like men are attacking us and blah blah, and it's like and we're stopping him in the moment with this is how justice should happen. This man, like, and of course she runs up and this dude would rape her in 2 seconds. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure of it.
Yeah, and
So I don't.
and that's the danger. Now,
I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if it's age thing or just they pushed everything so far now. But now, like, it's like I have no bleeding heart, anything. Like, there's no like, well, like that. Well, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like nope.
Well,
There's
I
none of
think
that.
I think as you get older, it's so important that you wise up to all those little tricks that they play. Of course, when we're younger, we have all that empathy. You know what I'm saying? We have the bleeding hearts. We have the thought process that like, well, maybe they're not all this way. We need to give them a better chance. We need to do this. We need to do that. But we see all of these social programs that have been basically they're coming apart Like all of the lies are coming apart right now. And it's like, no, you need to protect your kids. You can't let this guy around. You know, maybe that ass beating is going to make him think twice before he does it again or approaches a little girl or something like that. And you have videos. You could find tons of videos all throughout YouTube about I almost pulled some up about these immigrants that approach women and little girls. And a lot of women are there carrying dogs with them or bringing big dogs with them, like a Rottweiler or a Doberman. And now the Muslims are saying get rid of the dogs because they're halal, they're not good. You know, that's dangerous. Women need to be protected. I know Kelly Cat's going to get on me because I said all women yesterday, but it's okay. All women need to be protected. All women need to be allowed to be feminine. They shouldn't be made to be hard. They should, you know, be protected so that they're soft, so that they can have a good, you know, heart to raise children with, to have the good environment, so that everybody can enjoy the femininity that women bring to society. It's so very important. And, you know, I like boobs too. I'm not going to lie, but I'm not going to jump off and break my dick out in the middle of, you know, you know, we were talking about having sex on the beach. You know, this is way different. This is way different, isn't it? So I think it's crazy. What are your thoughts, James? I know I'm pretty sure what you're going to say, but what are your thoughts on this?
Well, you covered it, both of you, very succinctly, but this is what you call natural order. This is what you call natural justice in a Western civilized society. You have a man that stepped beyond the breach. You know, obviously a clear sexual predator, someone who is obviously going to be a rapist, obviously going to be a child sexual abuser, you know, and on that beach, your first thing should be to protect your wives, to protect your children, to protect your sons and daughters. So a group of masculine men get together and they mete out some natural justice, and that is what should be done, and that's what's done. But then you obviously get a woman who's been watching too much cable news and think you have to protect this poor immigrant, by the way, has decided to come on the beach, take out his dick and masturbate in front of men, women and children. That's not how we behave in Europe. That's not how we behave in the United Kingdom. And to echo what you said previously, or before I started talking, there was I saw a video yesterday of a woman that had a 1-year-old child in the park, and a Muslim man come along and started peering over and taking pictures of the child with his mobile phone. And then what happened? The woman followed him back to where he lived, and the whole street, the whole clan, the whole family rose up to protect this pervert, this predator, and attack the woman and her child. This is what we're dealing with. They basically taken over areas, they run some kind of Sharia law, they run some kind of local justice, and when a white person, a white woman says, look, this bloke was in the park taking pictures of my 1-year-old child, nothing's done about it. The police just like, no, we don't want to see anything here. And then and it's because of women like that, white liberal women, that want to step in and protect a fucking predator. It's disgusting. I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah, we have to protect the family. The family is the building block of a healthy society. It's been said over and over again. We have to protect the family. We have to protect the children, keep them away from traumatic experiences like sexual assault or even physical assault, or even watching their parents get in a fight. You know, you don't even want any of that. A lot of people are noticing this, and they're wondering why women, when they see a sexist joke on TV, they get all upset about it. But then when they see 3,000 immigrant rapists enter the country, they're perfectly happy with it. I think that's a big deal. I think that's something that you know, we as a nation, you know, Western culture have to bring to bear and like try to figure out like how come we are being this way? How come we aren't protecting our own? How come we're not allowed to protect our own? Because you cannot have good relationships if your family gets destroyed when you're younger, or if you have bad experiences as a child. 100%. What are your thoughts on that, FOMO? I know you're probably going to say the same thing and agree. It's important to protect the family, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought that's that's the whole point. I
Yeah,
don't know,
right.
like
Isn't that the whole
I know,
point of
like
society?
I grew up in the church and I went to Bible camp and all this stuff, and there were predators around, but like my parents still protected me, you know, like they're still like that's like the whole point of like your family.
Yeah.
So yeah,
No,
these women.
I completely agree. Kelly in the chat, she says, "I'm fine with a man protecting his woman, Ray." 100%. I agree with you on that. A man needs to protect his woman, and society at large needs to protect. That's why what we're seeing right now is so unimaginable. It's like they're injecting these foreign entities to destroy the society so that they can replace.
But white liberal women, aren't they? If you take someone who's the polar opposite of Forest Mummy, white liberal women are completely apathetic in this country about Muslim grooming gangs, to the point where they say it doesn't exist, it's made up, it's a figment of Tommy Robinson or Elon Musk or any politician that's right of centre. It's what they've made up in their head. Then they can't understand per capita. They can't understand how, like, Muslims are completely overrepresented in sexual cases in this country. They can't understand it. Yes, we're still a white majority, and there's still a lot of white predators in this country. Of course, they're the indigenous people to this country, but we deal with them, but we don't want to import them en masse. We don't want to import the worst from a foreign culture and a foreign country and bring their sexual predators over here to exacerbate the situation. And when you try to explain that to white liberal women, they just shrug their shoulders and go, yeah.
Yeah, you can't argue with them. There's no reasoning. That's why I say it's more of a religion at this point. We got who was it in the chat? Had a really good point. It was Flady. He says dopamine. They are complete addicts to dopamine since family was replaced by government, and their addiction is completely unchecked. That's the other thing, is that women, it really does feel like the women have traded men in for a relationship with the government. What are your thoughts on that, FOMO? Do you see that, or is that off base?
No, it's true. It's why they always say, like, I'm a strong, independent woman, but it's like, would you advocate to be dependent on every single tax-paying man in the world? It's like, so you're the opposite. Like, I'm a strong, dependent woman, and I'm happy with that. Like, but they like can't say that, even though they're dependent on my man and every other man as well if they're using the government for crap. But it's true, they have replaced it with the government is their husband. That's their big daddy. That's why it's so easy for progressive women and liberal women to side with the government, because that's their protector in their mind, right? And so that is how it goes. And
they're
it's so entrenched, man.
Yeah,
it's just so entrenched.
they're financier. They basically bypass the man who traditionally provides for them, and now they have the government provide for them. So 100%.
Which is every man. That's why I tell these women. I'm like, okay, you're still, you think you're strong because you're not dependent on one man, but you're strong because you're dependent on every working soul that's paying taxes and stuff. Like, that's stupid.
Well, and it seems like women just want to lie to themselves in that respect, so that they can have spend money
like to lie to ourselves
and be unaccountable, unaccountable for what they spend their money on. Which whatever, it's a 2026. If a woman earns money on her own, and she can obviously spend it on whatever the hell she wants to spend it. I'm not saying that, but traditionally, if you're getting money from the government, it's supposed to be to support your kids or whatever. And we see all the time that women are, driving BMWs because they got like 6 kids, and you're kind of like, what do you got a BMW for?
Like, they're cutting off my snap with these like nails that were probably like $150.
Oh, that's the other thing, is that men have no idea how much that kind of stuff costs. Nails are like $150, $200. Like, even when you get like a weave or something like that, it could be as much as $5,000 to get your hair did, as they call it. So that's crazy. We got Roots in the chat. He says, you just moved to Indiana. It's an open carry, which is fantastic. He told his broad to carry a Springfield 45 on her hip to protect herself. Yeehaw. Completely agree. Love a woman with a gun. I'm all in favor of it. Yes.
I love a woman with big tits.
Well, I mean, okay, I don't want it to be the T word. I got one more topic for you guys today. And this is a guy that I used to watch quite a bit. His name is Richard Grandin. I don't know if you guys have ever seen him. He talks a lot about the dark triad. And these are 3 things. If your friend does 3 things, how to know that you're being used. I thought this was fantastic. I'll drop it in the chat real quick before I summarize what he said. Now, I often don't play videos on here just because I don't want to really waste anybody's time, because I'll just summarize it for you and you guys can go and watch it later. But what he's talking about is the dark triad. And of course, if you guys didn't know what the dark triad is, this is the dark triad right here. The dark triad consists of 3 personalities: narcissism, psychopathy, and Machiavellianism. And they have overlapping qualities and traits. But when I was first born, I thought that, or when I grew up as a kid, right, I was told the golden rule: you do unto others as you would have them do unto you. And I was really excited about that, right? So I'm like, okay, I know how to work with people now. Then as I got older, I realized it didn't work all the time. In fact, it only worked like maybe half the time, because the other half of the time I would keep giving and giving and giving, and I would get nothing in reciprocation, until I came across this bit of information about the dark triad, about these type of personalities that basically just took and took and took, and never reciprocated. They basically used you like a sponge and dried you out and threw you away when they were done. Okay. Now, what Richard talks about here is 3 rules to show if you're being taken advantage of in a friendship or a relationship or anything like that. I'll go ahead and tell you guys what the 3 rules are real quick. And if you guys want to watch the video later, of course you can. The 3 rules are this: if there are double standards in your relationship, so say, for example, you have a relationship and you have to wash the dishes, but your friend or your spouse or whomever, they never wash the dishes, right? They just leave the bowl over there for you to clean. That's a double standard, okay? Unless you guys have it worked out, where you say, no, the other person says, I'm going to wash all the dishes, you wash the car or whatever. Okay, that's different, right? The second rule is if there's lies or deception, like if the other person is demanding that you believe some of the lies. Like I had a friend who used to say that they had a master's degree from the UCLA business program, and they didn't. So I was like, I can't really like condone that or go along with it. Now I'm like, if you told that one lie, how am I gonna trust whatever else you said? Then the third thing is if they're manipulating, you find any kind of manipulation in the relationship. So for example, if they're manipulating you, trying to, not ask you straight away, hey, can I have some cookies, for example, and they just kind of want to manipulate you until you get to the point where you're like, okay, do you want some cookies? And they're like, oh yeah, I wanted some cookies. Some of the manipulations could be they take you to the store. They tell you, hey, there's something at the store. We need don't the kids need cookies? It's like, bitch, if you want cookies, just get cookies. So those are the 3 rules that you can rely upon to know if it's a one-way relationship. James, have you ever been in a situation?
Well, I'm guilty of like, man, Dairy Queen sounds so good, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
well, that's a little bit of manipulation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Have you ever done that to
I'm
Mr.
guilty.
to Mr. FOMO? Have you ever been like, Mr. FOMO?
Yeah. They'll be like, well, then you can go get some. I was trying to get you to go get it, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, some of this stuff happens
I know.
in
I'm
relationships,
kidding. It's
but-
within reason.
But if it's all the time like that, if you're over there all the time, like every day, telling Mr. FOMO, hey, the Blizzard, it's a day, kind of, instead of just asking for one, then that's kind of a one-way.
My wallet's awfully light right now. That's weird.
Yeah, 100%. Or if you like, you're lying, you're saying, hey, you know what, I really need that Blizzard because I'm suffering from a rare Blizzard disease, and the only cure for it is more Blizzard. Yeah, something like that. But have you had relationships or friendships like that, FOMO, where you've had to let them go because you've
definitely friendships. I lucked out relationship wise mostly, but I mean I've like had tight friendships. Yeah, where these people are just it's just one thing right after the other. It never stops. It's just like exhausting. And I'm a giver and I like being nice to people. Like this happened in politics where people were just completely using me.
Yeah, that's
Shit. It's like
Did you find that it was with one, like, was it with women more than men, or was it kind of 50-50? Was it mixed?
I mean, my worst enemies, there's definitely a couple women. Yeah, and but there's equally as many men as terrible men too. But just like these couple people who are coming after me, it was more women involved. So, but yeah, it's just like, and they're the kind of people who like if I did something horrible to someone, which I've done terrible things to people before, and it like came out
Never.
in a like nothing like awful, like messing up someone's life, but like you might hurt someone's feelings or whatever. But like if it came out or whatever, like I feel terrible. But in like these people with politics, they will like be known for recording phone calls or like doing
Yeah.
this or that or like doing like things that are very shady, and then they just like just power through, keep, and people still trust them and people still work with them. And I'm like, that's where I'm like, I'm way better than these people because like they can handle being around like these people saw like complete sociopathic. I made a post today because people saw complete sociopathic behavior last year, and there's just like,
No big deal.
cool, we're letting those people hang out still, and it's like I can't do that. I can't do that. I
Well,
can't be around it.
when did you first realize that people could be that way? Or did your dad tell you about it? Or was there a point in your life where you're like, holy shit, these people act a lot different than me? Why is that?
I mean, it didn't happen like personally to me for a long time in my life, just out of luck. But I mean, really, probably, yeah, sometime like, well, probably a little before COVID too, like summertime around there. It was kind of like I was getting a little. I was on Facebook then, and like people did some weird stuff to me on Facebook, where I'm
Yeah.
like, what? Why? What are you doing?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I just lucked out, I guess. I
No.
was not that I was naive. I still was a
Yeah.
protective person and stuff. I just
Yeah.
never was around that very many people like that.
What about you guys in the chat? Have you guys ever had an experience like that where somebody, I mean, I'm not talking like, the average kind of, friendship kind of thing where things happen, but like it gets really creepy. Like you start to unravel these lies and then it keeps going and it keeps going. And you're thinking it's like one or two lies, but then all of a sudden the person doesn't even work where you thought they worked. They don't even live where you thought they lived. They're couch surfing with somebody else. That car that they had, they took it from somebody else, that was renting it, and this whole facade just, it's like, a true crime moment. James, have you ever had that happen? Have you ever met people like that? It's just like crazy, bro.
Yeah, people like women use me for sex all the time. What am I gonna do?
Of
I'm a
course.
handsome man. It's
Of
like,
course.
you know, but no, I think I just kind of like go through life dealing with everything on face value. I try to be like nice guy Mersh, but nice guy James. I try like with you, I turn up on time every time. I
Yeah.
try to be reliable,
Right.
try to be respectful of your opinion, respectful of your stream. Like I always see it like when we do work, I always see it like I'm a guest in your house. And I'm like, how's this going? We doing all right? Do we need to chop and change? Is there
Yeah.
something I need to adjust? And I always try to be open to collaboration in what we're trying to do, move forward and achieve. With FOMO, I always try to be respectful with our interactions. You know what I mean? Try not to cut her off and shit like that. And I think if you give of yourself and you're a good person, generally you'll get that back. You know what I mean? It's like you can tell people, I've me and D-Wag like abuses our friendship. You know what I mean? I'm the nice giving one, and he's the one who's always take, and
Yeah.
never turning up and helping me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in a toxic relationship with D-Wag. That's pretty bad. But like, yeah, I think as you grow older, you adapt and mature. What happens is you tend to see those people that you have the tricky relation. They kind of fall away, don't they? They kind of stop being in your life so much to the point when they stop being in your life. Period. I think I've seen FOMO mention that she just stops talking to people. I think I saw a tweet of hers where she just like stops tweeting. Like, there's no animosity. It's just she kind of cuts them out. And that's kind of like the way I go. I think we've been pretty lucky so far, haven't we? We get on well with everyone. There's been no major hurdles, but I'm sure as we continue to grow that there's gonna be some like maybe we have to let someone go or maybe something changes, and it's like it's a hard thing to do because you don't want to do it, but it's to the benefit.
Yeah.
That's how I feel about it. Sometimes you do have to be cutthroat, and I think I've got that in me. I know, and you've got that in you because you come from a business background, and you're pretty pragmatic about how relationships work and how relationships don't work. If something's not working for you, I don't think you'd be afraid to like pull the trigger.
Yeah, I haven't, you're right. I haven't always been that way. Back like in 2015, 16, I had a really serious relationship kind of do that thing to me. And then I started pulling the string on the lies and the whole tapestry came loose. And like, I was like, who is this person? Like, what is going on here? And I think that's when, before that, I was like a Pollyanna. FOMO, you know what a Pollyanna is?
Yeah, naive and like everything's
Happy-go-lucky.
fine.
Yeah, I thought the
Yeah.
world was great. I didn't see the sharks in the shadows. I just thought everything was fantastic, and I was just like, "Oh, it's okay. I'll give everything. It'll come back to me." I thought that whole karma thing was going to work out, but it doesn't. It's not like that. And I think I think a lot of people want to think it's that way, and a lot of women unfortunately want to think it's that way, but it's not. There's some real consequences that have to be dealt. It's like that African guy who pulled out his dick in front of everybody, in front of the kids. Consequences had to be dealt there. So it's a rough lesson to learn, and it took me a while to learn it and recover from it. But I had to do
It's
it.
hard when people do terrible things to you. Like, it's just hard to be like, okay, like it's hard to make sense of it sometimes, especially when it's like just really out there and bizarre. It's just throws you back.
Yeah, it is. It makes you mad. Like it makes you mad, like in the sense of crazy. It's mad making or crazy making, because I thought that like everybody would want to have friends and then to give their best to the friends, and then I can't understand why somebody wouldn't want to do that. So then I have to explore what these other motivations are, and then try to like add this whole understanding of the world based upon the dark triad type of people and why they would use you and throw you away, especially when quite often, I mean, like, FOMO, you're quite generous. James, you're quite generous, to come hang out and spend a couple hours. I give my best. I try to get that reciprocated. And so I see that. I see people out there that are like that. But then I also see people who just take. And, I understand where Mersh comes from, when he says, hey, I don't really want to meet anybody because all of that taking like damages you mentally and breaks you down emotionally, and you get all like sad and bent out of shape. It's not fun. You know what I'm saying, James? You gotta push through it and then kind of protect yourself and build barriers after that.
Yeah, I've had people in my life, right? I've had people in my life that are so damaged they just refuse to be happy. You know what I mean? You keep trying to give and you keep trying to chip away and you keep trying to break down those walls and you keep trying to break down those barriers. But some people are just so dead, just so damaged that you can't get through to them. And sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind, and you have to just cut them out of your life because they just become such a drain, such a negative. And it's like, it's really hard now because like, what I've learned about online culture, it is vicious. It's like this vicious circle. We were talking about Liam yesterday. Liam is kind of like this you throw a grenade into a room, don't you, with Liam? And he kind of like fucks everyone's life. And it's like dominoes. He's going through people one by one, and he's going out of his way to cause damage to these people's lives. He's damage to their livelihood, damage to their channels. And he's kind of vindictive about it. And he does it with a wry smile on his face. And you don't want to give him what he wants by engaging with him. But you just get so angry and frustrated that you start lashing out online, and it just goes around and around. And he kind of gets what he wants by default. You know what I mean? Not only is he taking your channel and taking your income, he's kind of taking your like sense of self-worth, and like, you're just like being able to go through your day and be happy and relaxed. He kind of fucks with you. And this is a guy that lives in Australia. Being online allows you to fuck with everyone all over the world now, doesn't it? So you're a troll, you can fuck with people. It's kind of like, I like it. I like being online. There's nothing I see negative about it, but there is a lot of negative people that take great relish in fucking up people's day. You know what I mean?
Well, I definitely think that the online culture, online society is kind of a habitat for the dark triad type of people, and Liam is one of them. They get addicted to this attention, and then they do whatever they can in order to poke and provoke and to get that attention. If they can't do it positively, then they'll do it negatively. And I think most people that are successful are already out and about in the world doing their life. We've talked about this before. And so then you get a lot of people who are disgruntled with the way that the world works. So they come on, this online thing. It's an inversion, really, of the natural world that with consequences. And then it allows those worst things inside of them to come out. And, I just block people as soon as they do that. I can't handle it. I don't want to deal with it. I don't even care. But at the same time, the online thing makes it possible for me to talk to you, for me to talk to FOMO, and for me to see everybody in chat and have a good time. And even Roots Calhoun, who's kind of busting your balls a little bit about James's AI girlfriend is scared to death of him, is what he's saying in the chat now. But that happens, and we're just like, it allows friendships to. Yeah,
but look at me and look at him. I have no sense of like wanting to engage because I know what a geezer looks like. He looks like a bag of spanners. I'm a fucking Adonis in comparison. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like. I don't get fucking bent out of shape about someone who's not on my level or not on my league, like giving me a bit of hassle. You know what I mean? I've seen what this guy's about, and
No,
it's like it's nothing. In real life, he would be no challenge to me. In
well,
online life, he's no challenge to me.
that's
So he can. It's kind of like he's just lashing out. It's like it doesn't bother me.
yeah. Well, that's not why I bring it up. The reason why I bring it up is just because you know, when you go through life and you have to experience life in the real world, and you come online, you don't even have to engage in any of that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even matter because it's like no big deal. It's just like you're busting balls. And I think a lot
Yeah,
of
it's water off a duck's back. You know, not everyone can like each other. There's something about me that he doesn't like, and there's something about him that I don't like, and there's always going to be this like
uh,
friction, and we're always going to kind of like go at each other in like a playful type bants way that doesn't really mean anything. It's just like it's the grist for the mill, in it, on a stream.
no, I just think you guys are both having a good time. I don't think it's even that. I think Roots likes you, and I don't think that either one of you have bad intentions towards the other. To be honest with you, I just think it's a fun gimmick, and I think that's what happens online.
It is good. It is good to be like, just come online sometimes. It's like yesterday. It is good to come on and just say some wild shit. Like, everyone knows Supergirl's terrible, but it's kind of fun to do a video going, hey, Supergirl's the best thing since sliced bread. It's going to make $1 billion. And I want to marry Millie Alcott. She's the most beautiful woman in the world. It's kind of fun to bait people. That is kind of fun in sometimes.
Yeah, it's fun to rile people up, and but what I was trying to the point I was trying to make is there's going to be a whole nother generation that doesn't grow up in the real world, so they're not able to you know, they have to take the bait. They're not able to have the ability to have impulse control, and I think that's what we talked about today. Like you know, like with the school, with the clavicular, with how he like you know, is influencing the 13, 14, 15 year olds. You know, that's the biggest gap that I see in society right now is that the parents allow these other devices and the other schools and these other people to influence their children. And then they freak out when when their children hit 18, 19, and 20 and they want to dye their hair blue. They want to become another gender and they want to be, or a dog even, and they want to do that. It's like the parents checked out for like 10 years. And, you know, why do parents even do that? I don't know. I'm beside myself when I try to rationalize and think about it. But you know, we're coming up to the top of the second hour, so we're gonna wrap it up here in a second. We definitely talked about a lot of stuff today. You know, that the immigrant guy just jacking off in public is something I can't get out of my mind because it's happening more and more and more. I'm seeing more of those videos where they just blatantly pull their dick out. It's crazy. We also talked about you know, other crazy stuff. What are your thoughts, FOMO? We covered a lot. I don't want to end on a sour note here. Give me a little sparkle. What do you got for me?
I mean, even with the bad, at least it gets out there. At least people saw those men beating him up at first. The immigrant, like you see so many that not happen at all. So that's a good sign that they're beating him
That's
up.
right. Yeah. That is a good sign.
Yeah.
That men need to rise back up, right? Men need to stop being like Adam in the garden and letting the woman give him the apple. They need to be like, bitch, I don't want that apple. Let's go. Let's kick some ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like I've seen some other YouTubers that are in like Germany and stuff, and they like walk through the park and they're like, fuck you, you know, they like don't like on these kids, like look at them all. They're all over everywhere, just all over the park, you know, whatever sand person they are and stuff. And so like I don't know, just more of that and more like people just saying like I'm gonna call it out. So
Yeah,
you know,
I think that needs to
there's
happen. People need to get
yeah.
like that. Like you said, they need to invest in their family and in local politics. You got to, I agree with
And also,
everything.
if you don't, I mean, just pay attention. Like, don't feel like you have to get into like. I tell people just like know your reps or something. But like, yeah, these people are the closest people to you who are going to like fuck you up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
remember who fucked us all up during COVID? It was like the
yeah,
local health department. It was full of fat, ugly people. You
yeah.
know.
And your local school board. You know, it doesn't even have to be like,
Yeah, if you ever kids in school, just need regular dads. All we need on school boards is just regular dads. Right now, it's all there's even a kidless lady on there, which I'm like, yeah, that's ridiculous.
yeah,
Like,
that's weird.
yeah, there's people without kids can have like good perspectives too, but not on a school board. Like, get out of here. It's just like
Yeah, that's creepy.
crazy.
Everybody go watch Forest Mommy's interview with Alex Stein. It's fantastic. I dropped the link in earlier. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube. Give her a follow at Force Mommy. I mean, like, she's doing great, but she's a fantastic person, a fantastic follow. Always puts a smile on my face when I see her chopping it up with other people or poking at them. That's Force Mommy on X.
Hopefully I'm gonna get a tooth pulled this week, so hopefully my smile will still be.
Oh, you're getting a tooth
wonderful.
pulled? Like what the? Oh, is it a back tooth?
Yeah, I'm just tired of them. I'm just tired of. I'm gonna pull it and do an implant.
Is it hurting you or
There's
something?
always a problem, and it always comes back.
Is it inflamed? Is it like be real sensitive?
It's abscess. Yeah, it abscessed this past week. I was like, I was like dying. Yeah, but I'm on the, now it doesn't hurt so bad right now. But
did they give you drugs?
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah, so I'm kind of out of it. Sorry, but I'm on like.
No, you're great. We're
not pain drugs.
I'll tell you when you're out of it.
I'm on like steroid and like antibiotics, obviously, but I never take meds. So I'm like, you know what? If I need them, I'll take them.
Yeah, well,
and now I'm just old. And now
you ain't old. Shut up. Get out of here.
I'm sick of root canaling, crowning, not root canaling, but then doing a root canal through crown. Like it's just like I'm done with this. These four, it's my 4 6-year molars. So this one, I'm like, nope, we're not doing any more to it. We're just
pull it and implant.
Take it out and do the implant.
Yeah. 100%. Are you going to do the, is it going to be the cadaver bone type implant? Or are you going to do, is it a screw?
And I want to get like a gold one. I was
get a gold tooth. You better get a gold tooth.
Yeah, let's go.
Big. I gotta go.
Yeah, let's go. Well, I hope it goes well for you. I know it will. I'm sure you got a fantastic, fantastic dentist out there because we don't like FOMO and pain. We want her taken care of, okay? So I know Mr. FOMO is definitely doing a great job over there. Shout out to Mr. FOMO. James, what are your final thoughts? We covered a lot of stuff today. I mean, like, fuck, clavicular kissing a dude? Like, what the hell's that all about, bro? What the hell?
Well, I've got news for Roots. My AI girlfriend just dumped me. So what I need, right, to get me through the rest of this weekend, I need toothless FOMO first trap pics.
Okay,
that is essential to me. But like, after this ridiculous thunderstorm that's been going on all throughout this fucking stream, I tell you, all we got around here at the moment is thunder and fucking lightning.
Yeah.
I'm going to get on the blower, and I think the moral of the story today is I need to follow the Italians and get myself a vigilante group. I'm going to designate myself leader, and then we've got a lot of octogenarians around here, so I'm going to ring around the 80-year-olds, and we're going to like start our own vigilante group and start marching around and marshalling the streets.
Yeah, well, I mean, they got some money for sure. And you can definitely do those videos.
Well, we've got a migrant camp up the road, haven't we? Because they stopped housing in this country. They stopped housing migrants in hotels. So now they've got they're going to disused army barracks.
What?
So we've got one in Crowborough. We've got one in Crowborough, which is 8 miles from me. That's where all the illegal immigrants are being housed at the moment. And there's some old woman, she comes up to me and she goes, when I'm out on a jog or a walk or a run, she always comes up to me and she goes, James, I'm like a widow. You know, I'm scared that they're going to come to the area and like rape me. You know what I mean? I've got no one to protect me. And I'm like, because there's a lot of old people live around here, so it probably wouldn't be a bad idea if we got a group of lads together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I hear you. That's scary. Give James a follow.
They're going to disused army barracks all around the country now. That's the next thing.
Yeah. Damn, that makes me mad. If you guys haven't seen Tyler Oliveira's video about what's going on in Ireland, go watch that. It's on YouTube. Tyler Oliveira. He talks about how all the migrants are being housed in luxury hotels and at the expense of the taxpayer. They're paying for it, a 100% occupancy for like 5 or 6 years. It's fucking wild. It'll definitely boil your butter for sure. Go give James a follow. James Domenico Grabbin on X. James Domenico Grabbin 81 on YouTube. He does 5-minute videos, fantastic videos about everything. We were going to talk about the World Cup. I got some other stuff that we didn't get to about how they robbed Iran of their goal. That's a big kerfuffle going on right now, a big drama. But other than that,
Trump's corrupt, man. Yeah. He's a corrupt guy, that Trump, I tell you. Stayed in the goal.
Yeah, 100%. And we'll get that taken care of. But everybody, go have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. Have a fantastic rest of your weekend. If you got family, give them a hug. Tell them you love them. You can't do that enough. The family, that's the cohesion that's going to hold you guys together and get you over the thin spots in life. That's really, really important. So get out there, kick ass. Protect your family, protect your women, and love each other. Let's fucking go. And we're out of here, people. Knuckles.